Fnatic is one of the teams we scrimmed mostly, I think.
Fnatic are onto the Nexus.
I just think that people disrespected Giants.
Oh, Frederick with the timing! Oh, that was brilliant! Rocket, get the Nexus tower. Rocket, turn to the Nexus.
Rocket changed the 2 play. I think they're only gonna get stronger.
Flying ignites, burning poisons, ticking. Fox gets another kill for SK Gaming.
I definitely think Fox is one of the best mid laners right now, so that makes them really scary.
Copenhagen Wolves have done it!
I think they're still one of the biggest teams, but we should win it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the European League of Legends Championship Series, coming to you live from our studio in Berlin, Germany. I'm EpicSkillshot here with Trevor Quickshot Henry and our guest for the week, Lauri Cyanide happening. Really good to see you again, Lauri.
Yeah, it's good to be here, as always.
It's a pleasure to join Cyanide on the desk. This is my first time on the European Analyst desk. I'm excited.
It's pretty swanky, huh?
That's for sure.
Before we get to the big stories from yesterday's games, let's take a look at where the teams currently stand. Fnatic and SK Gaming still at the top, going strong, 3-0. Then Elements, Giants, and the Unicorns of Love are fighting for 3rd place at 2-1. So let's talk about the top of the table. Fnatic, 3-0, still undefeated there and still as a cohesive unit performing fantastically. Although yesterday was the first time they had a game where they went even and had to fight from there, not being miles ahead.
Yeah, Fnatic just really good performances so far, especially Reynor, probably the most impressive jungler so far in the LCS. Really good, stellar Reynor play.
Yeah, something that you find from Fnatic is they sort of hinge on Reinover's engages. He tends to be the guy that's going in and starting things and playing around those pick comps that you talked so much about yesterday, Cyanide. And I just think as a team, Fnatic are playing on the same page.
A team that is also very much playing on the same pace is SK Gaming, still holding strong there, 3-0, another victory coming in for them. As a team, fantastic, and we heard that Vishichachi said they're playing them today, the Unicorns of Love. Well, what the Fox is in there, he's doing so well, we didn't even have to see him go miles because SK Gaming is just delivering on every other point.
Yeah, like the strong point of SK is that they have absolutely no weak points and they play really good together. Just the most flawless team in Europe right now, I'd say.
Yeah, especially in comparison to Summer Split last year, where SK had such a weak early game, they really struggled to do anything. The biggest change in my mind for Given, he's come in, he's got 0 deaths to his name, 31 KDA if you add up his kills and his assists. And I just think it's SK have fixed all the problems they had from last year. And they've had 3 very convincing wins.
Yeah, looking super scary. Giants yesterday had their first big test. They were 2-0 before that, now 2-1. Lost to the Unicorns of Love. And what was the test for them? Would they be able to put that same pressure on top and snowball it from there? The answer was no.
Yeah, like they still had the same game plan without the Jax. Tried to camp the top lane for no reason. You have a Maokai, he's going to be strong anyway. Just focus on the bot lane and mid lane, try to get the Drakes. Maokai is just going to do his job. It doesn't matter if he has a few kills or not.
Yeah, it feels like Giants, when they put under pressure, they don't really know what to do. When they're given freedom, they can play well. Werlib did not have a good game on that Maokai. I think Cyanide hit the exact points. Giants just haven't got enough of a diversified game plan. And this is something they have to learn, something they have to adjust to if they want to pick up wins in the LCS.
And finally, another champion we saw yesterday wasn't banned for the first time, got picked 3 times. Rek'Sai, unbelievably scary when we saw him play.
Yeah, Rek'Sai is just so strong right now. On LPL, he has a 100% win rate, 7 wins, 40 bans, and just crushing every game we saw him here in EU.
Yeah, if you take a look here, you've got Kikis, of course, who just went absolutely crazy on him yesterday. Did such a good job. We've seen him in North America, a little bit less exciting than I think maybe LPL and NEU. But Cyanide, what is it about Rek'Sai that makes her so good in the current meta or in the current competitive scene?
She just fills all the slots that you need from a good jungler, like really great early, decent scaling, you have a global, like mobility is just insane. She's overall extremely strong and she needs to get a nerf or it's just to stay at the same level.
Well, Cyanide said it best.
Yeah, super scary. That wasn't all that happened yesterday. Thursday's games had you guys taking to Twitter. So let's check out your favorite LCS big plays. First up is some fancy footwork and a ride on the Thresh Express that got Overpow out of hot water against Fnatic. From @DRockWarshanks, a hop, skip, a flash, and a lantern. Overpow's acrobatics and Vander's clutch lantern were definitely LCS big plays.
We'll get to that in a second. Reynor, he's on the hunt, thrilling hunt rather. Gonna lock down Overpow. That was just, oh, he's hopped, he's skipped, he's flashed, and the Lantern! Vander gets him out. I thought that was so simple that Overpower was going to die.
Well, I can't quite deliver it as well as you, Quickshot, but Cyanide, how did Overpower live there?
Yeah, Rainover just trying to be a good team player, leave the kill. If it was me, I would have just totally kill secured that, but just me.
At times. Next up, the Copenhagen Wolf Soren beats Froggen at his own game from Ed Bergla. Holy moly, that's done from Soren.
Quite a lot of farm on Lula as well, so he should be fairly happy. And Froggen is going to get the jump in, and he does be able to get quite a lot of damage going in with the Spirit Rush. Oh, he needs another attack, and he's not going to get it. And the turret takes down Froggen. Soren coming up with a kill.
Wow, Soren here landing that very, very important stun to Froggen.
It's just such a stunning play. I think that's left a bit of a Soren spot on Froggen's record, and you know, I definitely think it's a sore point. Even Froggen had something to say about it. He said, someone link me a vid of how to tower dive. I think he's going to need it if he wants to avoid those in the future.
Yeah, we're getting straight on that. And then we have Fnatic's Febevin showing us what separates the plays from the LCS big plays from @NotMy. Febevin Mind Games, the Xerath third shot double kill was awesome.
Buster shot kicks Rainover away. Overpower's come in. Meganar stuns Yellow Star against the wall, but Overpower's got no support. We see the right of the Arcane. Shots coming out. Flash, boomerang blade. The third one gets a double kill.
And Willop walks in to his own teammate. It's flying. Double kill.
I had to laugh. There's such a creepy laugh, but it was so good. It was so exciting.
Also, Febevin just with the mind games. Yeah, you think you're going to live? You think you're going to live? No, you're dead. Thank you for tweeting those plays. Keep sending in your show-stopping moments to @LOLesports, and be sure to use that hashtag LCSBigPlays. Now for a look at today's schedule, Gambit Gaming will start the day looking for their first win versus Fnatic. Elements will play Roccat, and SK Gaming will face the Unicorns of Love later in the day. And Cyanide, I know you're particularly excited to see the Unicorns of Love face SK.
Yeah, just SK, like I said, the most flawless team in Europe right now, but Unicorns of Love, if anyone can do the Lemon Dog story, I think it's them. So I'm really looking forward to their test here to see if they can pull something off and take SK.
Well, they've got the silly name to go with it. So, and always, you can keep tabs on all this information and more at lolesports.com while you're there. You can also catch up on professional League of Legends from around the world on our VOD page, build your own fantasy LCS team, or get information on how to join us live right here in Berlin. But even if you're not here in the studio with us, we still want to know what you think. Tweet at @LOLesports and tell us what new player in the European LCS do you think is making the biggest impact and why, Laurie?
Well, I feel extremely awkward complimenting my replacement, but I think it has to be Rainover. Like, he's just so solid in all of the games, most impressive jungler so far. Kikis had his moments, Lulax had his moments, but Rainover just solid performance in every single game so far.
Jungler, jungler, jungler. I'm going to go slightly different direction. I go to an LCS player that was in the Spring Split last year's return. I think Forgiven is making a lot of waves, mostly because of every other AD carry looking at Forgiven and saying, I'm terrified to play against this guy. So we need to see how they adapt and also see how he performs against Elements, against Fnatic once SK starts facing them.
Remember to tweet at @LOLesports and use the hashtag LCS, and we'll talk about your answers at the analyst desk later in the show. Now let's get into our very first match of the day, Gambit Gaming versus Fnatic. Both teams shook up their iconic rosters over the offseason, but they're having different results so far in 2015. Let's start by taking a look at that Gambit lineup. In the top lane, Cabochard, jungle, Diamond. In the mid lane, it's Nick at AD carry, Pinoy, supporting Edward and their coach Leviathan. As said, an 0-3 start for Gambit in this one, and they're up against Fnatic. That is a tall mountain to climb, and Cyanide, you said it best yesterday, they just have to play better.
Yeah, like, I've had my fair experience of the loose streaks, and it's just so devastating for the team morale. You just got to get that first win to get the ball rolling and get your confidence back.
Yeah, we need to see if they can. We know that they actually just recently moved into a gaming house for the first time. We know they've got their coach this week, so maybe that'll help. But I think my eyes are on Nick. He's trying to change his champion pool, playing a lot more assassins at the moment, got 15 deaths to his name. And for a man that's meant to be the leading guy in the team, I just don't think he's pulling enough weight to help carry.
Yeah, it's also the guy that we had our eyes on in the beginning and saying, well, he's diversified his champion pool, he's come and stepped up, but maybe he has to switch it up once again. Turning to the red side of the Rift, we have Fnatic top lane, Huni in the jungle, Reignover at mid, Febevin at AD carry, Steelback supporting his Yellow Star and their coach Daylor. 3-0 at the top of the table. And yesterday was actually the first game they had. There's only been 3, but there has been a game where they weren't miles ahead coming straight in versus Rocket, and they had to work their way towards that victory.
Yeah, that's what teams need to do, like punish Fnatic for those aggressive plays. Rocket was doing it very well, just turning those engages around. You just got to get them out of their comfort zone. Like you saw the last game, they were a bit confused what to do when the engages were not going their way. So you just got to play good and punish those aggressive moves really hard.
Yeah, I think Rocket played really well yesterday. I just want to highlight some of the differences in control. If we can pull up some of the gold graph changes that we've seen Fnatic in their first game against Elements. This was day 1 of the spring split, and you can see how Fnatic and Elements are practically even until the 20-minute mark, and then Fnatic just accelerated ahead. Eventually got a very dominant win in around 30-odd minutes. If we contrast that to Rocket in the next graph, you'll notice that Rocket had a similar situation, a little bit more back and forth before 20 minutes, but the important note is at 40 minutes, Rocket clawed all of that control back. They brought the gold graph down, and Rocket actually made some misplays in positioning, I think, which allowed Fnatic to jump on them. Sinat, I just want to ask your opinion on Fnatic, because you've been saying that they only play this like pick-style comp. We were discussing in the game yesterday how Fnatic were not punishing the map in the side lanes, and they kind of like stalled, really. Is there weaknesses in Fnatic's gameplay that other teams can notice and try to exploit in their style or their side lane management?
Yeah, see, Rocket was just grouping, and Fnatic couldn't find those picks, and they really didn't know what to do. Their wave control was lacking in a way that the waves were not being pushed when they should be, and they were just running around the map not really knowing what to do because they couldn't do their usual picks.
We'll see if Gavin can give them a run for their money.